instacredibility.com Trust Trigger Series. Trust Trigger number 3. Describe your methodology in plain terms. The more complicated or specialized your prospective customer's problem is, the more you need to be careful when explaining processes. It's very easy to drop the ball at this stage in the trust building process. You know what you're doing, you've been around the block several times, you've gone to school, you've received training, you have certificates. It's easy for the problem that your client has to be broken down in your mind into a series of steps. Do not communicate that in its raw form to your customer. Chances are good that you will end up dropping the ball and they will walk away from you. Why? Your process or methodology, as powerful as it is in solving your customer's problems, must be communicated in plain, easy to understand, and easy to remember English. I don't care how superior your process is. It doesn't matter how well adapted it is to the most common problems and variations of problems your customers bring to the table. It doesn't matter how many years of fine-tuning went into it. If you cannot communicate it in a clear, easy to understand, and non-intimidating way, your chances of establishing trust go out the window. Zero in on your process. When you lay out your process, it must be clear why the way you do things makes you the superior choice. There are two main ways to demonstrate this. Number 1. You can present your methodology in the most arcane, jargon-filled way. Number 2. You can lay it out in terms of the customer's experience. You can paint a story of how their needs are going to be met each step of the way. I suggest doing things this way. Unfortunately, most businesses fall into the almost irresistible trap of doing it the first way, which is to use jargon, industry terms, hard-to-figure-out buzzwords, or worse yet, trending buzzwords. When you're spitting out these words at your prospective customers, trying to get them to sign on the dotted line, you're simply just shooting yourself in the foot. Please understand that just because you know what these terms mean doesn't necessarily translate to your customer instantly respecting you. In fact, people are smart enough to grasp that if you're hiding behind jargon and confusing buzzwords, there's a good chance that you're doing so because you yourself don't know what you're talking about. There's always that possibility. The more you talk about your processes this way, the stronger the suspicion becomes. Don't do it. Zero in on the process that you follow and focus on simplifying it so your prospective customer can understand that you are the only choice. Why? You have successfully answered the question that they are asking themselves. Will this method work for me if there are other choices to solve my problem? You at this point have explained your process in such a clear and easy to understand way that they see themselves in your process. They see that you are the easiest to work with. They can understand what information the process needs, how it operates, and the outcome that is most likely to come out at the other end. This is more likely to build trust. Compare this with just throwing jargon, buzzwords, or confusing your prospective customer with unnecessarily complicated descriptions of your process. It's important to get your customer inside the process and be comfortable with it. When you explain everything clearly, and it all goes back to how they're being served and how their central problem is solved, they become emotionally invested. They start to believe that your method is the best option among the many other available options. Unlike the previous two trust triggers, the attention and the methodology stage is on the process, framed to fit the specific problem of your customer. As powerful as this stage is, it's still not enough for your target customer to pull the trigger. They have to be clear as to your overall value proposition. Use trust triggers to get more sales. Contact instacredibility.com today to help you get started in turning your local business expertise into a solid brand your prospects would trust and buy from again and again.